During a debate some time ago, YouTuber and so-called market socialist Vaush used an analogy to try and describe an exploitative transaction that he felt would occur in an anarcho-capitalist society and thus prove that ANCAPs are wrong about everything and their system is terrible. This is referred to by his fans as Coconut Island. It's very popular with the left on the internet, and commies in particular, and supposedly shows how power imbalances lead to unethical outcomes under capitalism with property rights involved, and that therefore the more moral thing to do in the real world is to get the government to steal people's stuff and use it for what you want. Flawless logic, really. In order to try and not strawman this position, I will now play in its entirety the Coconut Island analogy so that you can know exactly what it is I'm talking about.
Let's say that you are on a plane, and that plane crash lands on an island, okay? There are only a few survivors. In fact, there are only two. And you wake up after the first one does. By the time that you have woken up, the other survivor in this plane has claimed all of the coconuts on all of the coconut trees, stacked them on their pile, sheltered that pile with all the wreckage from the plane, and declared they own it. And they say that they would be willing to give you said coconuts if you throat their cock. Now, would you consider that to be a voluntary interaction? Is that a voluntary interaction?
So, is that a voluntary interaction? Yes. I mean, you don't have to do it. That was pretty easy. But you will starve. Yes, he who does not work, neither shall he eat. As the person he was debating said earlier in the debate.
That's life. You have to do
wait,
stuff
wait. So your argument...
If you're happy to suck a dick for some coconut, then in this scenario you just would. It wouldn't be a problem. If you're not happy to do it, then you'll have to find some other way to survive. There's probably fish in the water you can catch, or crustaceans to collect, maybe other flora and fungi that might be edible. Hell, if you wait long enough, the palm trees will grow more coconuts for you to collect. You may also be able to barter with the other person, maybe show them how to use the discarded husks to make a fire in exchange for food. There's all manner of things you could potentially do. This seems to be the problem with a lot of socialist thinking. A fundamental lack of imagination, no entrepreneurial mindset. Person X has a problem, person Y has a solution, and asks for payment for that solution. Person X wants the solution, but doesn't want to pay. Therefore, exploitation.
Right now, in our society, which is market-oriented, if you don't like using the term capitalist, there are exploitative forces on the average person. They have to do certain things or they don't get to enjoy a certain quality of life.
Under a capitalist system, this is simply a potential transaction which would benefit both parties, but one party isn't happy with the price. In a free market there would be competition, innovation, trade, economies of scale, and so many partners and potential partners that such a transaction would be one of many competing offers, and you would simply choose one that suited you better, or refuse them all. This is why the analogy doesn't work. We don't live on Coconut Island. We live in a world where 7 billion people will happily give you food in exchange for goods or services, and where money as a medium of exchange has made individual transactions like this largely obsolete. The real issue seems to be a belief that a lack of options equates to exploitation, or that a certain quality of life needs to be guaranteed. In fact, this is something Vaush himself says earlier in the debate, and he believes that taxation is justified in order to achieve this end.
Okay, then taxes are just a part of life. If you want there to be basic necessities that everyone can enjoy, taxes are just a part of life. You need to fund those somehow. They get taken if you decide to work
sure, but there's...
I have poor eyesight due to a genetic defect. I have had it my whole life, and it will not improve without some gene therapy which doesn't currently exist. One of the reasons I'm in favour of removing or reducing intellectual property rights to allow more people to utilise technologies like CRISPR. Because of this poor vision, I've had to purchase spectacles in order to see as well as someone born without this defect. The socialist sees this as exploitation. I'm having to pay just in order to see. How disgusting. I, however, see things more clearly. Badumch. This capitalist development of those eyeglasses, the capitalist development of medical equipment, the capitalist development of and production of entities which specialize in the treatment of those with ocular impairment, the training of such individuals, etc., this is all possible because of the capabilities of our capitalistic societies to support specialisms and individual choices which make these businesses exist. The market allows prices to be accurately set, and I am given the opportunity to purchase eyeglasses if I wish to, or if I do not. I choose to because I like the ability to see. It improves my quality of life greatly, and in exchange I only have to offer up some small amount of money. I do not feel exploited, despite the socialists' protestations. In fact, I am grateful. Where before I would simply have died, or rather my ancestors would have, I am instead able to live as well as any other for a low, low price. Many people do not have the same ocular problems as I do, and many others do have them. There will be some with far worse problems, and some with less egregious ones. Are we all exploited simply for not being born perfect Übermensch capable of self-sufficiency and requiring no help? The argument from capitalism is simple. No man is an island. We all need each other's help, so it makes sense for us to do so in mutually beneficial, voluntary ways. The socialist argument is also simple, but differs in one key way. Your compliance isn't a factor. No man is an island, and we need each other's help, so the government should force you to pay for other people's stuff, or they'll kill you. Which one is more moral, do you think? The one that utilizes consent, or the one that explicitly negates it?